Harley-Davidson CEO PANICS cancels DEI training and LGBT events to avoid a boycott. Coming from Bloomberg, Harley-Davidson reveals ongoing DEI review after activist attack. That's their way of saying he gave in. Look at this from CNN. Even they admit it. Harley-Davidson is dropping diversity initiatives after right-wing anti-DEI campaign. That's pretty accurate. It is a right-wing anti-DEI campaign. Normal people don't want this in their lives, they don't want this in their companies, and they're not going to buy this when they see it in their products. Harley-Davidsons are actually not that cheap. The price of a new Harley-Davidson is between $25,000 and $45,000. A used one goes for around $6,000 to $21,000. Any one person who decides they don't want to support this company damages the resale value of every Harley-Davidson that exists and absolutely kills the sale of new Harley-Davidsons. The guy behind getting all of this killed is Robby Starbuck, who has had a lot of success before with John Deere, with Tractor Supply, and other companies. And here's what he had to say. Another win for our movement. He couldn't do this without all of you. Harley-Davidson just issued a statement where they promise no more DEI functions, and there are different DEI functions. We'll get into it in detail. No more supplier diversity spend goals. Supplier diversity spend goals are where you only buy things from companies that are owned by people of certain skin colors. If that sounds inappropriate and illegal, it's at least inappropriate. Harley-Davidson says they'll also no longer participate in HRC scoring. HRC is the Human Rights Campaign. The Human Rights Campaign has a corporate equality index. This benchmarking tool scores companies based on their behaviors to come up with a number to see how close they are to matching what the Human Rights Campaign decides is the right goal for practices and benefits pertinent to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer LGBTQ employees. Which is to say, they drive a lot of the activity and the bad programs inside of companies. Harley-Davidson also promises to change their sponsorship activities. Their sponsorship activities are changing and will focus exclusively on motorcycling, first responders, and active military and veterans. They will have no more woke trainings with socially motivated messaging inside the trainings. It's only been about a month that Robby Starbuck started this campaign. That's all it seems to take for Robby Starbuck and then the rest of us who support these campaigns to get woke companies to start to back down. From Bloomberg, Harley-Davidson reveals ongoing DEI review after activist attack. And of course, these companies always have an ongoing DEI review. That doesn't mean they're reviewing their DEI activities because they want to cancel them. That means they're reviewing them because they're going to report those numbers to their masters at the Human Rights Campaign, which they say they're no longer going to apply to and deal with the scoring for the activities of their company. From CNN Business, Harley-Davidson is dropping diversity initiatives after right-wing anti-DEI campaign. Tractor Supply Company, John Deere, now Harley-Davidson. Harley-Davidson said Monday that it's ending diversity and other progressive initiatives at the company. Harley-Davidson is the latest major American brand to backtrack from DEI policies it had supported in recent years. Harley-Davidson faced pressure online from Robby Starbuck, a guy. He is a guy, but he is very effective. He's very passionate, and he does have a team of people who are behind him helping him do research and get the word out. He's a conservative activist who has successfully taken on DEI policies at several American companies. Quote, "We are saddened by the negativity on social media over the last few weeks, designed to divide the Harley-Davidson community," according to the company, who wrote this in a statement posted on Twitter. The company added that, quote, "We have not operated a DEI function since April 2024. Oh, all the way back in April? And we do not have a DEI function today. We do not have hiring quotas, and we will no longer have supplier diversity spend goals." But the company went on to say it would review all sponsorships and outside organizations the company affiliates with, and the company will establish a central clearinghouse for approvals of those relationships, which is to say that somebody like Debbie in Human Resources in one office in Wyoming or wherever people happen to operate will not have the authority to give money to their own progressive programs from the company's bank account. They won't be able to associate the Harley-Davidson name and the Harley-Davidson brand with any agenda that individual employee wants to push. That is a good practice, and Harley-Davidson was allowing that. They wanted that to go on. They didn't care about that. Now they care because they know they will lose sales. They've already lost sales, but they could lose a lot more sales if they don't clean up their act. It is also suggested Harley-Davidson would drop some sponsorships, including LGBT plus pride festivals, saying the brand going forward would focus exclusively on growing the sport of motorcycling. Well, that's a pretty good idea. They're sort of in the motorcycle business, so they may as well promote motorcycling. It's not like at the LGBT pride festivals, they're necessarily promoting Harley-Davidson as a brand. So they may be driving Harleys, but you need to focus on your own company and your own employees and your own marketplace and your own investors and respect what your customers are interested in. Not every progressive agenda that makes you feel special. The company also said it would end its relationship with the Human Rights Campaign, a leading LGBT advocacy group. Quote, "We remain committed to listening to all members of our community," the company said in their statement. Starbuck first posted on social media about the company less than a month ago. Quote, "It's time to expose Harley-Davidson," Starbuck first posted on July 23rd, listing around 20 examples of how the company had gone totally woke. Among the examples, Harley-Davidson sponsored a boot camp for LGBT entrepreneurs, donated to United Way, and wants to increase its workforce diversity as it tries to grow its base of motorcycle riders. They always say if they hire people only of certain skin colors, then those people will somehow bring more people to the company. Well, you can always hire people of different skin colors, but if you can't do your job, it doesn't matter what your skin color is. That's not going to help you get the work done. Also, for whoever needs to hear this, marketing does not work that way. Just because you hire someone of certain descent or certain religious practice or certain sexual preference, it doesn't mean that because you hired that person, all of a sudden they have this magical insight about how to grow the company for that limited niche market of people that look or act or sexually prefer a certain way. It doesn't work like that. You have to find out what your customers are interested in and service what your customers are interested in. Provide it. Make sure whatever you're selling, promoting, producing is worth more money to the customer than the money they have to spend for it. Elon Musk and other right-wing leaders amplified Starbucks' social media posts, so it's all Elon Musk's fault and that darn Twitter. Harley-Davidson joins Tractor Supply and John Deere to backtrack on policies following pressure campaigns led by Robby Starbuck. Tractor Supply recently announced it was eliminating jobs and goals focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion, withdrawing its carbon emission reduction goals, and ending sponsorships for LGBT pride festivals and voting campaigns. John Deere announced it will no longer sponsor social or cultural awareness events and would audit all of its training materials because the training materials were obscene. All kinds of inappropriate racist commentary in the training materials. Hard to believe, but that's what these people pushed into their programs. Just 2 days ago, this story came out. It's on Fox News here, but it's been in a number of places. Harley-Davidson CEO compares himself to the Taliban in an effort to remake the motorcycle brand. Harley-Davidson CEO, accused of going woke, said he's trying to redefine capitalism. Can you imagine you're an investor in a company and you hear that the CEO is trying to redefine capitalism? I assume you're doing that at my expense as an investor. How am I going to get a return on investment for that? Are you going to redefine capitalism and somehow write me a check as a benefit for something like that? How does that sell motorcycles? It doesn't sell motorcycles. And if you could redefine capitalism, I'll tell you this, it wouldn't be that easy. You'd have to do a lot of stuff, and it would have to work, and it would take time, and it would take energy, and it would take resources. And all of those things combined would not be the CEO's own personal money and resources. He may have given some money towards this nonsense personally, but he's talking about harnessing Harley-Davidson, the company, and taking its assets and using it for his political agenda. That should be a crime. Those are not his assets. And it is not up to the CEO of a company to make the decision of what they're going to do to try to save the world with someone else's assets, the company's assets that belong to the shareholders. Here's the internal email from Harley-Davidson sent to all of their employees admitting that they need to make a change. For over 120 years, Harley-Davidson has brought the joy of motorcycling to riders around the world, no matter who they are, no matter where they come from, or what they believe in. We have a guiding principle. United we ride. It defines how we run our business, treat our people, and underscores our commitment to welcoming all. We are saddened by the negativity on social media over the last few weeks, designed to divide the Harley-Davidson community. And of course, there was no intention to divide the Harley-Davidson community. The intention was to let the community know, if you support this, that's fine, but don't let these guys do this behind your back. Associate yourself with Harley-Davidson and take a brand that you might love and a brand that you've been supporting maybe for decades, spending tens of thousands of dollars on motorcycles, and exploit the brand and exploit the assets and exploit what you've personally invested in the brand to push someone's personal political agenda. The CEO of any of these big companies is not dumb. They're well aware of what their customers are interested in. They're also well aware that a massive percentage of the population is not interested in pushing their political agenda or supporting their political agenda. They're going behind people's backs, and they're forcing this on people who might not know what's going on at a company that they're supporting. There's no misunderstanding here. These guys got caught. He continues, as a company, we take this issue very seriously, and it's our responsibility to respond with clarity, action, and facts. Earlier this year, we initiated an internal stakeholder review to better align company activities to the needs of both our business and community. Based on our review, we are committed to the following: diversity, equity, and inclusion. We see it as every leader's role, which, why are you identifying every leader? Just why don't you focus on your company? This was not written by the CEO. This was written by a PR person. This was written by a mediocre PR person, but somebody with experience. I'm just telling you because I can analyze the language and almost give you the name of the person that wrote this. They continue. We see it as every leader's role to ensure we have an employee base that reflects our customers and the geographies in which we operate. It is critical to our business that we hire and retain the best talent and that all employees feel welcome. That said, we have not operated a DEI function since April 2024, and we do not have a DEI function today. We do not have hiring quotas, and we no longer have supplier diversity spend goals. Did you explain why you no longer have supplier diversity spend goals? Why would that be? Exactly what were your practices around supplier diversity spend goals? They would not want to publicly admit what they were, because they're always really bad. We only give contracts to people of certain skin colors, or certain genders, or certain sexual preferences. With respect to their business employee resource groups, to ensure alignment with those groups with the business, moving forward, we will be providing executive management to each group to exclusively focus on professional development, networking, and mentoring. So all kinds of inappropriate things were obviously going on inside those business employee resource groups. On sponsorship and affiliations, we are reviewing all sponsorship and organizations we are affiliated with. Actions stemming from that ongoing review include all sponsorship activities will now be centrally approved and managed efforts through the company or the Harley-Davidson Foundation. We will focus exclusively on growing the sport of motorcycling and retaining our local riding community, in addition to the support we already provide to first responders, active military members, and veterans. The Harley-Davidson Foundation is committed to driving positive change in Milwaukee, such as through the recent unveiled Davidson Park at our Juneau Avenue headquarters. Harley-Davidson will not participate in HRC scoring going forward. That's the Human Rights Campaign and their Corporate Equality Index, and that is how they control multiple big companies. But supposedly not Harley-Davidson anymore. And in regards to employee training, the company continually evaluates its training opportunities to ensure they are right for our workplace. Training provided will be related to the needs of the business and be absent of socially motivated content. Are you absolutely kidding us? You're going to actually utilize your training resources, the company's training resources, financed by the investors and the customers, to actually focus your training material and your training provided to your employees based on needs of the business? Wow, that's pretty innovative. So they're not going to be focusing on socially motivated content in their training. Only legally required training has ever been mandatory at Harley-Davidson. And when a company says something is only mandatory, what they also should be saying is that, yeah, if you refuse certain kinds of training, you're not going anywhere at that company. You're lucky to keep your job. Finally, they wrap it up this way. We believe in having both a broad employee and customer base is good business, and that ultimately everybody should experience the joy of riding a Harley-Davidson. We remain committed to listening to all members of our community as we continue our journey together as the most desirable motorcycle brand in the world. United we ride. If you can force a big company to do the right thing by embarrassing them in public and making them actually be accountable in public, in front of their customers, in front of their stockholders, for what they're actually doing at the company, some of these companies can be taught to change. And the more success I keep seeing, month after month, as campaign after campaign takes down a big company's DEI programs, the more I think this could happen to every big company. Make sure to check out Robby Starbuck on Twitter. And yes, sometimes people call it X now. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Always love to see your ideas. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another story. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.